think it's all for Marina, but how did you film in the TV series from filming the films?
Well, you get more time when you're filming the films, more money. Well, more money per day, not more money total, right? Yeah, per day. Actually, really, especially between the end of the series and Generations, I had 3 days off. So literally, it didn't even feel like there was a difference. It just felt like, okay, we're going back to work in 3 days, you know, and we were on the same sets, and it wasn't like we went somewhere else to shoot it. But you do have more time. There's also more sitting around because then long like it's film and not a TV show. But it didn't hit me that Star Trek was over for us until the end of Generations. At the end of the series, because we went straight to the movie, it was like, oh, it's going to work again, you know. At the end of the film, because I knew I wasn't going to be doing another film, we didn't know she was going to do another film after Generations, I couldn't leave the set. I couldn't leave the studio. I was wandering around the corridors, you know, sick bay, and just like crying, just sobbing, you know, just didn't want to leave. It was really, really sad. In some of the movies, I'm not going to mention which ones because I don't want to get sued, but we had some not so pleasant experiences just because of the directors that they hired. Well, actually one director that they hired who made it a very unpleasant experience. We had a laugh for 7 years. We all got along really well. Garret, on Voyager, they're always been, you know, oh, you know, those Star Trek cast, you know, the Next Gen cast. We had a real laugh. In fact, we had a director in the first season who directed 2 shows and he refused to come back because we were too rowdy. And I thought we should have come back in the 7th season. He would have run from the stage screaming. But we always had a really good time, so it was actually quite sad that they hired this director that, you know, didn't kind of join in, you know. But, no, I mean, as far as the atmosphere on the sets and everything, and when you're shooting films, you get to go to more exotic locations, you know, possibly, like in Correction, they took us up a mountain. That's about as exotic as it comes. Yeah, but no, it's fun. You get to go on location, hang out with your friends and drink in the bar at night, you know.
What was it like working with Patrick Stewart and, of course, I'm trying to think of Captain Kirk.
William Shatner?
Yeah, with William Shatner.
I don't think I've ever worked with William Shatner. I mean, he was in Generations, but I didn't have any scenes with him. So if you're not working with if you're not in a scene, you don't have to go into work. They don't make you go in and watch everybody else. But I remember the first time I met William Shatner, he actually come into our, what's the room that we used to beam people out of? The transporter room. The hormones, girls, you understand. Yeah. Into the transporter room. He was using our transporter room to shoot a commercial. And I was so excited that, you know, Captain Kirk was around. And I went to watch this commercial being shot because I'd never met him. And I'm standing in the doorway in my spacesuit, right? So I waited till he was done and I went up and kind of introduced myself. And I realised he had no clue who I was. And the fact that I was wearing a spacesuit didn't actually help, you know. And he didn't kind of put the 2 and 2 together. But Patrick started as, he was very British when we started. Kind of very anal, if you know, very strict. He was very strict and very serious. But we beat that out of him quite fast. And by the 7th season, he was the silliest one among us, and the most badly behaved. So he's actually turned, I think he might, I don't know what he's like now, because he's back in England now, but when he was in America, he was a very silly man.
I've never worked with Shatner, but my experience of first meeting Patrick, we had finished filming the first episode, and we were actually working on the rest of the first season. And they had already aired, no, actually they hadn't aired the first episode yet. We were probably filming the 3rd or 4th episode. Patrick Stewart, I heard that Patrick Stewart was on the set, you know, so I'm like, oh my God, he's here, you know. So I saw him and I walked up to him and I said, hey, Mr. Stewart, I'm Garret Wong. He's like, I know who you are. I'm like, oh, I saw your first episode. He's like,
excellent work.
And I'm like, and I felt like as if I was knighted or something, you know? I was like, oh, and I was like, yes, he just gave me approval, you know? So it was a really nice moment between myself and Patrick. Yeah.
Bill Shatner. Let me see. I only did two little bitty, ever so teeny scenes with the man, but he seemed more concerned about whether or not he was lower or higher than I was on the hill, and something had to be reblocked so that he would be taller in actuality than I was in the view of the camera. And then the other thing I found a little disconcerting was that he doesn't look you in the eye when he does a scene with you. And he doesn't especially look you in the eye, which is particularly unkind, when the camera's on you. Meaning, this is now your close-up, and it's going to look funny. It's going to look funny if you're distracted by the fact that he's off camera looking over your head and making you feel as though there's something going on behind you, or something could be about to fall on you. And there's just absolutely no reason for it. And I remember I never spoke to it the first movie, but the second movie I actually felt friendly enough with all the other cast members that I actually said to Michelle as I came off the rehearsal, I said, you know, Michelle, he's not looking at me. And I'm not exactly sure how to handle it. And she said, oh dear, she said, I've been acting to Bill Shatner's nose for years. So that's how she chose to deal with the distraction, was to focus on his nose and not let his eyes, you know, get her off her game. So he's a horse of patootie, but everybody knows that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And Patrick Stewart is just awesome. Just awesome. I mean, as a woman, I found him so powerful in his own aura that I was really intimidated by him. I really didn't know. I thought, geez, Louise is going to take everything I've got to just hold my own and stand in the scene with him, much less act with him. He's just so fabulous. I didn't have much small talk with him, but that's partly out of respect. I've guested more. I've never had my own series. I've always been the guest, and out of respect for the castmates, you know, who are together all the time, I think it's a little obnoxious to come in and, you know, start joking with them. I always took the tact, you know, I'll speak when I'm spoken to, and I'll just kind of, hold back until they invite you to join in. Of course, you guys are insane, most of you, but I was working with Patrick. He's very, you know, and he had a lot going on at the time, and I remember they switched scenes on him at the last minute, and he was able to absorb, you know, a million lines with multisyllabic words in it almost instantaneously. So he's just awesome, and you just hold hope that you can, as I said earlier, you just stand in the scene and manage to get every line out when he's not speaking in any kind of, you know, sensible manner, because I was just so taken with it. He's just very, very powerful aura.
Were you attracted to him?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. No, he's so attractive, and I was really hating.
She likes older men.
Not that I was cute in any way, but, you know, it wasn't helping that I had this horrid wig on and wool up to here. You know, I couldn't have felt less sexy. And so I'm standing next to this man who's just absolutely making me drip. And there wasn't a thing I could do about it.
Well, actually, I have a funny chat story thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to change the subject on the line really quickly.
Sorry.
There's children. Oh, okay, because there's children in the audience. But when they were shooting, just before they were going to start shooting Star Trek 6, Leonard Nimoy had a party at his house to kind of, you know, welcome everyone to the movie, and he invited all the Next Generation cast too, so we all went to Leonard Nimoy's house, and my husband at the time, he'd had a